Hey there, how you doing? So I see this show recently. It's called No Place Like Home, and they do it at the high school here. It was really good. It was like a modern ballet, like no talking, just singing and dancing, and they tell the Wizard of Oz story, which was what made me think about this. I was thinking, Dorothy is not really a hero in that story. Like you think about it, and she kind of comes in, out of nowhere, and like she's drunk driving her house, and like hits a local leader of the community, and then takes her shoes. It reminds me of this time when I was living up in Roseville, and I had this other neighbor, and her name was Olga, and I was at this guy's house. I was at the friend's house, and it turns out that like I tried to stand up and I fell down because we were watching the hockey game, and because we like to get together and watch the Gophers lose, and we're up there, and yeah, I realized I had had a little too much to drink. They had Labatt's there. Yeah, it was a whole keg of Labatt's. It's not quite as good as Molson, but it's pretty good. Yeah. And so anyway, so I call up Olga, my neighbor, and I said, "Hey, Olga, I need you to pick me up because I've been drinking too much and I don't think I should drive, And so Olga comes and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll be there right now. I'll be there soon, So she comes and she picks me up, and then I didn't notice, but she wasn't actually at home. She was at a different rager, also watching the Gophers lose. And so she was pretty tuned up already. And so she comes in and then she kind of parks only like halfway on the road, and like is halfway on the curb thing. And so I get in and I'm like, "Hey, Olga, do you know you're on the sidewalk, And she's like, "Yeah, well, you know how it is." And then I knew, I was like, "Oh, she's been drinking, And I was like, "All right, well, we better get home, And so, yeah, it turns out that she crashed into the signpost and everybody was okay, And then I was like, "Oh," and then we hear this whoop, whoop behind us, And then she's like, "Oh, no, Svalbard, I'm going to get my 17th DWI here." And I was like, "Really? 17? Like, I thought it was sweet 16 here." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, but you forgot about that time I got the Zooey on the Zamboni." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was pretty funny. She ran into the boards on the Zamboni. We have a Zamboni while intoxicated here. Yeah, so she has 16 driving while intoxicated and one Zamboni while intoxicated. That's a record, I think. Anyway, so yeah, she was kind of like that, only if she had taken the sign and put it in her trunk and then been like, "I'm out of here." And then you think about it, and then there's this other like rival leader that comes in. Anyway, back to Dorothy, and she like is like, "Hey, you take these shoes and then you rile up the local miscreants, like the people who were kind of like on the outs with the local government, like the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Lion, and then they all go to this nice city to the wizard, this posing guy who isn't really I mean, how did he get into power, like, and he can't really do anything, and then they ask him and he tells them, "Well, I grant your wish, but I gotta ask you to do me a solid, And then the solid is like, "Hey, I need you to go assassinate this other person and take her symbol of office, And like what is going on here? I mean, like the Wicked Witch in the West, like, I mean, like, first of all, like, what makes her so wicked? And I know this is in the book and the new show, Wicked, I mean, she's not really wicked, They make her into this thing that's not really true. And why the broomstick? Like, what does this guy need for it? Like, he doesn't. It's this stupid task that then they do it. They assassinate her, and then they bring the broomstick, and they come in, and then, they're like, "Hey, I got the broomstick," and the guy's like, "See ya," and he just takes off in his balloon, and then we find out that the witch of the north has been holding out on her for the whole time. You know, and like could have been like, hey, Dorothy, you can go home by just clicking your heels together. But I didn't tell you that. Ha 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 ha. You had to kill somebody for it. And so, you know, I mean, like that would really, you know, and then Dorothy's kind of fine with it. You know, I mean, that would really piss me off. And I probably would have punched that witch, you know, and then I would have been like, hey, listen, you know, actually, this is what I would have done. I would have been like, hey, I already took out 2 witches. I can make a tree, you know. And so anyway, then Dorothy gets home and she doesn't learn anything, you know. She doesn't, you know, fix her grudge with that teacher or whatever set this whole thing off. And, you know, she doesn't fix her drinking. And so it's just going to happen again, you know. Like nobody learned anything except for maybe the witches who are dead. So, yeah, I mean, there is one moral to this whole story, though, and that is that, you know, Olga learned her lesson, though. She's not allowed to drink anymore. Like, she can't buy booze anymore. So sometimes she calls me up and she's like, hey, Spally, you know, I need you to get me some beer, huh? Yeah. I probably shouldn't do that, actually. So anyway, yeah, the show was good. The kids were really amazing. There was a guy with 4 saxophones. I didn't even know 4 saxophones exist. He plays one, and then he it's a baritone saxophone, you know, and then he switches it out, and somebody comes on stage, and you're like, oh, he's gonna play another one, you know, and he does this 4 times, and so there's 4 saxophones. It was amazing. And then the dancing was really, really good, and the singing was good. Oh, Quinn wants to say hi. He liked the show too. Yeah, he was really into it. You know, and I'm glad I went to the show. I don't know about Dorothy though.